Hi friends, welcome back to Table Full of Joy. I'm Cheryl, and tonight I'm making one of my husband's favorite. We love tacos. I'm not sure if any of you remember the double-decker tacos that Taco Bell used to sell years and years and years ago. We started making them at home because they quit selling them at Taco Bell. And so I wanted to share with you guys how we make our double-decker tacos. One of my husband's, like I said, it's one of his favorite foods that I cook. So we're gonna make those. We are going to have I need some refried beans to go with them because this is how you put your double-decker tacos together. This is what sticks the flour tortilla to the corn tortilla, the crunchy one. I had to think. So we're gonna open these. These are not mashed up quite enough. So we're gonna get these in a pot with a little bit of water so that it can start to loosen up a little bit. We need it a little bit, not necessarily runny, but we definitely need it thinner than what comes out of the can. So we're gonna put just a little bit of water in our can. Pour that on there. And turn this down to like medium. And we are going to mash this down into our pot. Start to get these warm. We also have a pound of ground beef in our cast iron skillet. We're gonna turn that on and get our ground beef cooking. We have a pack of taco seasoning. This is just a basic taco dinner. So we've got a packet of taco seasoning that we'll put in our taco meat when it's ready for that. So we'll set that aside. Then we have all of our toppings except for the sour cream and salsa, which is still in the fridge. But we're gonna do our tomatoes, our onion, our lettuce, and our cheese. Those of you that watch my channel and are familiar, I am not a fan of pre-grated cheese. I don't like it. I don't like the things that they put in it. They put a lot of coatings and things on them that just is not, I just don't like it. I don't like to have that extra stuff, so I like to just buy a good quality cheese and grate it up myself for almost anything. Occasionally there is something that I will have to use a pre-grated cheese for, but it's very rare that that happens in our house. So we've just got our cheese grater. We're just gonna grate up a little bit of cheddar cheese. We're gonna take care of all these things while our ground beef is cooking, while our refried beans are heating up, so that once our beans are finished and once our ground beef is done, then we can just continue to move forward with dinner. And tacos is one of those foods that we can literally have tacos on the table in no time. It's super fast. When I need something really quick, it's always a go-to for us for a really quick, fast dinner. All right, so we have a little bit of grated cheese here. We're gonna push this over to one side of our cutting board because we're just gonna make stations right here on our plastic cutting board so that we literally have all of our things right here on this cutting board ready for us when our taco meat is ready to start assembling. So now we're gonna take a tomato. We're gonna cut off the end of it. And we probably are just only going to use a half of this one tonight because this taco meat will make enough for us to have leftovers for dinner tomorrow night. Which is another reason I love to have tacos. So we will save half of this tomato for tacos tomorrow night, and we'll do half of the taco or half of the tomato tonight. We want to get a pretty small dice on this because if these are going to go in a taco shell, you can't have a big, huge chunk of tomatoes going in your taco shell. They just won't stay. So we're just going to do really fine dice on our tomatoes. And let's just move these down to this far corner so that we're not taking up a ton of room on our cutting board. Let's just move down this by our cheese. All right, so now we're going to only do half of this head of lettuce. This is just some romaine that we picked up at Costco. So we're just going to cut this head in half, and we're just going to take half of this, cut off our stem, and we are going to thin shade this. We want thin shade lettuce for our tacos. I don't like it when somebody hands me a taco that has big, huge pieces of lettuce on it. I want nice, beautiful, shredded lettuce on my tacos. So we're going to get this done. You can see how fast this is going to be. So we literally have our cheese, our tomatoes, our lettuce. It's all done and ready to go. All we have to do now is dice up a little bit of onion. Ground beef is cooking. Our beans are starting to heat up. As soon as these start to warm up a little bit more, I'm just going to come in with my spoon and I'm going to mash these, because these refried beans that I have some whole beans in them, and the whole beans are not going to do anything good for the tortillas when we try to get the tortillas to stick to our taco shell. We need to preheat our oven to 350, because we are going to have to put our taco shells in the oven so that they can warm up. A lot of people don't read that on the instructions for taco shells, that you're supposed to heat these up in the oven. Heat up toaster oven, heat them up in the oven, an air fryer, whatever kind of thing you have to heat them up in. It's always a good idea to heat these up because it really makes them taste fresher. You really get a nice crunch out of your taco shells when you heat them up a little bit. So we're going to cut off our end right here of our onion. We're going to toss that, move our handle back so we don't knock our beans off on the floor. All right, so we're just going to cut part of this onion. Like I said, I am not an onion fan. I won't put onion on my taco, but my husband definitely does. So I want to make sure he has some onion for his tacos. So we're just going to peel off our skin. I'm excited to grow some onions for us for next year. It'll be kind of nice to have our own onions and tomatoes in our garden. We are going to start showing you our garden sometime in January. We will start getting our seeds together and getting our beds prepped and ready to go. So we'll be sharing that with you guys once we get to that point. So now we're just going to dice up this onion real quick. And I'm just going to go ahead and dice up enough onion for tonight and tomorrow night for leftover tacos, so that I don't have to do this again tomorrow. We'll just have our onions already ready to go. I'm going to turn down our ground beef a little bit. Alright, so we've got our ground beef. It looks like it's almost done. I just want to give it a little bit more of a chop with our mix and chop. I like to have really, really fine ground beef for my tacos. That is my favorite way to eat them. So we're just going to chop these up just a little bit more. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put our taco seasoning in. Let's pair of scissors. Okay, our oven is hot and ready for our tortillas, or our taco shells, I should say. So we're going to go ahead and put this in. And another thing that surprises me is how many people that don't know that you should put water in with your taco seasoning, and you really should let your taco meat cook. So I'm going to put a little bit of water in here. I'm going to use my mix and chop real quick, and we're going to go ahead and turn our heat down because we just want this meat to simmer. We don't want it to boil. We just want it to lightly simmer so that all those seasonings, spices, and everything can get. I'm going to put the rest of that in there. All right, so that is good. So we're going to switch. I don't mind if this mix and chop that had the ground beef on it goes in here. It's going to be fine. So we're just going to use a spoon to kind of keep stirring this around, make sure it doesn't stick to our pan, make sure it's getting all nice and mixed. Because I want to come in to my pan right here with my mix and chop, and you can see that some of these are, I don't know if you can see it, but some of these are big pieces of bean, and I don't want that in my refried beans. I need to be able to have these nice and smooth so that they are not going to cause an issue with getting our tortillas, our flour tortillas, to stick to our corn tortillas, our taco shells. So we're going to use our mix and chop in here, and we're going to go just kind of mash around in this and get the rest of those chunks mashed into the beans. That little bit of taco seasoning that was on our mix and chop is not going to hurt the beans at all. It's just going to add flavor, so it's going to be fine. Because you really want this to be nice and smooth. So we're going to take our spoon now. We're going to wipe these beans off of our mix and chop. Get that all taken off. All right, so our beans are just gonna sit here for a couple more minutes and hang out. They're gonna finish warming up. Make sure that's down so we don't burn them. Our ground beef is looking good. That has a couple minutes to go. And we're gonna be ready to make some double-decker tacos. We have our taco shells here. We are gonna go ahead and open these up. Let's grab our scissors so we can snip this plastic. We're gonna just put these in on a sheet pan in a 350-degree oven for just about probably 4 to 5 minutes. It really is not gonna be very long because you don't wanna burn them. You just want them to warm and get nice and crispy. So we're just gonna do 4. 2 of these double-decker tacos is about all you can eat. Well, it's about all we can eat. So I'm gonna stick this in the oven real quick. Our ground beef is finishing up. I'm gonna give our beans another stir. They are looking really, really good. They're mostly smooth. The only way I could get them even smoother is if I put them in a blender or something, and I really don't want to do that. So I think we've got a good texture out of these, and I think these are going to be just fine for our tacos, so that our flour tortilla is going to adhere to our taco shell. So this is looking good, and we are literally going to be ready to make tacos in just a couple minutes. So before we pull our crunchy taco shells out of the oven, we are going to put our flour tortillas in the microwave. We're going to give them about 20 seconds. We just want to get them warm so they're nice and soft. Our refried beans are all done. Our ground beef is all finished. We're going to pull out our crunchy taco shells. They are nice and warm. That's exactly what we wanted. You don't want them brown. You just want them nice and warm. I'm going to set these on our cutting board so we can get rid of our pan. Get that pan out of our way. We have our warm flour tortillas. We're going to go ahead and stack these because we're going to deal with one taco at a time. So we're going to take a little bit of our refried beans. We're going to put a nice thin layer of refried beans right on our flour tortilla. You might need to have a little bit more, but just, you want them nice coverage all the way to the edges so that this will adhere to the crunchy taco shell, just like this. All right, so we have that done. So now we're going to take one of our crunchy shells and we're going to put that right in the center. And we're going to take our taco shell, put your hand down inside your crunchy taco shell so that our crunchy taco shell is tucked away inside, just like that. This is going to be perfect. So then to make your taco, you're going to take a little bit of your ground beef, down in here, and then you do your toppings, whatever toppings you want. My husband likes onions, so we're going to do some onion on his. Down in there, we're going to do some tomato. I know Taco Bell puts their sour cream down inside their tacos. I do sometimes I don't, it just depends. Today I'm not going to. We're just going to put it on the table and we're going to put it on because they don't stand up real well. And I find that if I put the sour cream on them, you put them on, and they're just going to fall over and it's just a whole mess. So we just don't do that. So we're going to put a little bit of lettuce on our taco, a little bit of tomato. My husband likes the hot salsa. His favorite is the pace hot. So that's what he'll be putting on his when he eats his taco here in just a few minutes. But this is our double-decker taco. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me in my kitchen tonight as we made a classic from Taco Bell, the double-decker taco. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me in my kitchen. If you haven't already, please give my channel a like and a subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the fun recipes we're going to be sharing soon. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, friends.